It started on a Wednesday night just after 11 p.m. in Toledo, Ohio. The streets were quiet, mostly empty, except for the occasional late worker heading home. Colonel Rachel Bennett was driving back from a base meeting 2 hours south. She sat in her government-issued black SUV, windows slightly tinted, clean, simple, quiet. Nothing flashy. Rachel had been driving for a while, humming softly to the rhythm of the tires on the pavement. She wasn't speeding, swerving, or doing anything unusual. But Sergeant Mark Turner, tucked in his usual spot off Reynolds Road, saw something different. Turner sipped his lukewarm coffee, scrolling through his phone. The night had been slow, no calls, no action, until now. A car he didn't recognize appeared on the road. He tossed the coffee aside, turned on his lights, and pulled behind Rachel's SUV. Before she even registered it, the cruiser was there. She blinked once, slowed, and pulled over calmly. Controlled, trained. The patrol car door slammed. Turner approached, hand on his holster, flashlight in the other. No greeting. Straight to her window. "License and registration," he said. Rachel kept her hands visible. "Officer, may I ask why I'm being stopped?" Turner squinted, shining the light in her face. "You were drifting between lanes. Didn't signal. Looked like you might be under the influence." Rachel raised an eyebrow. "I wasn't." "License." "And registration," he repeated louder. Rachel didn't argue. Slowly, deliberately, she reached into the glove box and handed over her documents. "This is a government vehicle," she added. "I'm a federal employee." Turner glanced at her ID. "Military?" he asked with a smirk. "Doesn't mean you're above the law," she said calmly. "I never said I was," he muttered, tone sharpening. "Step out of the vehicle for me." Rachel blinked. "Excuse me?" I said. "Step out." "I'm conducting a sobriety check." Her jaw clenched, but she stayed calm. "On what grounds?" "I've complied. I haven't been drinking. I'd like to know the reason." Turner stepped closer. "You're refusing a lawful order." "No," she said evenly. "I'm asking for clarification." He didn't like that. He opened her door. "I need you out of the car now." Calmly, Rachel turned on her phone camera and hit record. "Just so we're clear," she said, "this interaction is being documented." Turner hesitated for a split second, glancing at the phone, but he didn't back down. Rachel stepped out. Her posture was straight, not defiant, just firm. She didn't shout or resist, but her confidence spoke volumes. Turner's ego whispered that he should control her, but a small voice in the back of his mind asked, "What am I dealing with here?" The field sobriety test followed. Rachel walked the line perfectly. No slurring, no stumble, no hesitation. Still, Turner wrote her a citation, failure to maintain lane. Rachel took the ticket without a word, just a steady look, then got back into her SUV and drove away into the dark. Turner had no idea this ticket would follow him into court and change everything. Sergeant Mark Turner had been on the force for 15 years. Tough, controlling, sharp. His precinct respected and feared him. He barked orders, escalated situations quickly, and rarely apologized. That night, he thought it was just another routine stop. Back at the station, Turner logged the citation and tossed his body cam in the Charger. 2 days later, Rachel's side of the footage had already been reviewed by her legal team. She wasn't loud, she wasn't dramatic. She simply documented the truth. That night, Turner joked to Officer Diaz in the break room. "Some woman tried to pull rank on me, flashed her government ID like that was supposed to impress me." "Was she military?" Diaz asked. Turner shrugged. "Some fed with an attitude. Name's Bennett." "Rachel Bennett." Diaz frowned. "Lieutenant, Colonel Rachel Bennett. She gave a lecture at the academy last year. High up, runs logistics, 2 deployments. She's legit." Turner waved it off. "Doesn't matter on the road. I'm the authority." But Diaz's warning lingered. Rachel had filed a formal complaint with video evidence and the Inspector General. Turner had no idea. The next morning, Rachel sat in her office at Fort Wayne, Indiana, reviewing the stop on her screen. She barely slept. It wasn't anger, though she had plenty of it. It was focus. She thought about how easily things could have gone wrong if she hadn't stayed calm, if she hadn't recorded the encounter. Her aide, Sergeant Daniels, peeked in. "You okay, ma'am?" "No, but I'm handling it," she said calmly. "I saw the footage," he said. "Do you want me to loop in the base attorney?" "Already done," she said. Rachel's goal wasn't headlines, it was accountability. She had spent 22 years in uniform, leading with discipline and integrity. Her rank wasn't just a badge, it was earned through experience and responsibility. But that night, on a quiet Ohio road, it didn't matter. Turner had treated her as if she were nothing. So she made the calls, filed the complaint, attached the video, and let the facts speak for themselves. By the end of the week, the case was circulating through military legal circles. Turner still thought it was over. He hadn't touched her, hadn't arrested her, and in his mind, the badge gave him authority. But now, someone on the other side wasn't afraid. 3 weeks later, Turner received a plain envelope from Lucas County Civil Court. It was a notice to appear. Lieutenant Colonel Rachel Bennett versus Sergeant Mark Turner, alleging violations of all constitutional rights, unlawful detainment, intimidation, and abuse of authority. Turner laughed, thinking it wouldn't stick. But the next day at the station, Captain Reading pulled him aside. "She's not playing games," Reading said. "You know who she is, right?" "I don't care," Turner muttered. "She's a lieutenant colonel, combat veteran, spotless, record. And she has it all on tape. From 2 angles. You're going to court." Turner's confidence faltered, but he didn't admit it. Rachel prepared quietly. No press conferences, no dramatics. She reviewed footage with her lawyer, Delaney. "Price making a careful record. This isn't about money," Rachel said. "It's about setting a precedent. Power doesn't excuse behavior. Silence isn't the only option." On the day of the trial, Rachel entered the courtroom in full uniform, medals shining. She wanted everyone to see who she was, not just a motorist stopped unfairly, but a professional, disciplined leader. Turner sat at the defense table. His smirk faltered for the first time. Rachel took the stand and told her story plainly, calmly. She described the stop, Turner's aggressive tone, the unnecessary field test, and her compliance. She played the phone footage, then the body cam, showing every detail. The jury was silent but attentive. Turner could not escape the truth laid out before them. 3 days later, the verdict came, in favor of Rachel Bennett. The court recognized violations of constitutional rights and unprofessional conduct. Turner was accountable. He would face internal review, and the ruling would remain on public record. Rachel didn't celebrate. She nodded quietly. Her point had been made. Accountability matters. Respect isn't automatic, it must be earned. Weeks later, she spoke to young recruits. "Respect isn't owed," she said. "Power is a responsibility. Lead with discipline. Stand firm when others fail. Silence protects the guilty. Courage protects the rest of us." And with that, Rachel returned to her duties, quiet, focused, respected.